Hi everyone, this is Maharaj Anlaipan. Today I am going to teach you the third prose piece called Discovering Tut. The saga continues. It's written by A.R. Williams. Okay. What are you going to learn about this? The text has got great values. It is about ancient history. It is also about ancient traditions. Okay. Dear students, I'm going to explain about it. I'm going to talk about the purpose of learning this text. Why should we learn about it? This gives you an enormous idea about learning our culture, learning the mankind. How did we learn? How did we got the changes? How did we live in earlier days? We human beings. So as an youngster, as a great learner, you should always try to remember about our importance, our traditions, our civilization. By that, we'll be able to live in a better way. So, Williams has presented elaborate information about the research which was made on Tut, the King Tut. So, what are we going to study or learn about it? The history of the King Tut, Egypt, where the bodies of the dead bodies were kept in secret. In other words, it is called mummies. The process of keeping the dead bodies, the process of keeping all the precious things inside the tomb is something great to be understood. So, with the help of science, with the help of technologies, and research has been done, and the findings of the research are present in the form of a text, an article. So, let us find out one by one. Now, you are going to look at the picture. This gives you an idea about the tomb, how it was preserved, saved, along with the murals, pictures on the walls. So, this gives you some idea about the kind of tomb is maintained. Okay. Now, what are you going to learn about the text? What are the things are present in it? Let us improve our understanding. A civilization continued for 3,000 years. Don't forget, it's continued for 3,000 years. So, you are going to learn the greater importance of learning a civilization. This will give us some idea about the history of mankind too. Mummies, the process of keeping the dead bodies. And the text also covers a questions or tries to answer certain questions. Mystery behind keeping the bodies. Then ancient secrets. What were they? What were the secrets? There were so many stories. There were so many beliefs. If you try to open it, something will happen to you. The tomb, the Egyptian mummies, Egyptian pyramids. So the structure itself protects, prevents its tomb. There are so many, not one, not two, more than 600. And the text also gives you some idea about the secrets of pharaohs. And you will also study about mummies. And the text also tries to answer the afterlife beliefs of the ancient kings. The king Tutankhamun, the famous pharaoh, he reigned 1332 to 1323. So the text covers all these aspects in a beautiful way. Who were they? Pharaohs. They were heads of the community. They were also heads of the religion too. And it is meant as a great house. They were also a mediator between God and people. So, dear student, we should not forget about it. There were similarities with our own culture too. And they were also able to lead the political life and the religion also. So their ability to lead, their ability to guide the people for the religious beliefs is something great. So we are not studying a normal thing. We are studying about the great civilization, how people held the beliefs in appropriate manner. Okay. Now this picture is talking about Tutankhamun's war, his skills. How did he fight with his enemies? How did he fight with his enemies? Don't forget. So this picture gives you a clear idea about all the aspects. What kind of a king he was? Tutankhamun, he was the youngest one. As I mentioned earlier, there were some similarities. Why should we? There are some importance and significance over there. He was the last heir of powerful family. His body was buried with gold. His tomb was discovered only in 1922. So that was the beginning. And that helped the entire world to know about its greatness. The cause of the death is something unknown. That's why it's been done with so much of effort. So to reveal the truth, the scientific world used certain technologies, CT scan study. The author mentions it as a forensic reconstruction, process of recreating the face of an individual. So that will give some idea about the process. Let us now remember this. To bring out the originality, to bring out the truth to the world, we have to rely on certain facts. And that will also help us to understand the basics. Instead of relying on the stories, we have to rely on the facts. Forensic reconstruction. What does it mean? Process of recreating the face of an individual from their skeletal remains through various studies. So, the text presents gives us some knowledge about the kind of study that they used, kind of study that they did to bring out the truth. So that will help us to know about the mystery behind tombs, the mystery behind the Egypt culture, ancient culture. Now, King Tut was taken from the cemetery. So to begin with, they first and foremost involved themselves in studying. So they prepared themselves, and this picture also talks about the various tombs and various kings and their tomb. So they start with the King Tut. Why? An earlier study was done or did. That's why they had to rely on, again, with the help of the modern technology, with the help of advanced technology, they had to do one more research. Okay. So first process is taking the King Tut's body from the cemetery. The entire place is called Valley of the Kings, where the bodies of the ancient kings were buried with so many precious things. It was done on 5th January 2005, 6 p.m. The king died 3,300 years before, remember. So we should not forget this. That's why we are studying about it. The culture is all about, the ancient culture is all about having some values. So that will give us some clue about the modern people or modern world or modern people to know more or to have something that can be adopted to us. So they underwent the process of CT scan. Why should they use the CT scan? That is to study the entire aspect. That will help us to know the hidden information. Murals. What were things were present in it? Murals, paintings. And visitors from all around the world also used to come and witness the great process. Some of them really feared some worst effect of the curse would occur when they try to open the tomb. We also heard stories about it, but such thing never happened. So the scientific world, the science ensured that such thing never happened. And they first and foremost opened the outer coffin lid. First taking the dead body or taking the body from the cemetery, opening the coffin lid. It was covered on the surface. Zagi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, says it was found with a bad condition because it was kept for more than 3,300 years. So it had a greater impact, and the entire things were something not found with the good conditions. So every minute detail has to be noted, and they record it. They record every process with the help of all the modern technologies. Carter Howard, British archaeologist, does this particular process. He did it in the year 1922. He discovered that tomb. So discovering, it was already there, he discovered it, and he reveals so many things. He found that a rich royal collection and stunning artifacts in gold. Everything was present in gold. He was buried with everyday things. He believed in afterlife. So this is what we need to learn. When they believe in afterlife, something might have done. They strongly believe that after their death, they might take the things that yearn from this life or this world, and they can make use of the things to their afterlife. But certain things are not present in detailed manner. Here we can find out the informations like the kind of thing that they used for afterlife. They believed it. Board games, bronze razor, linen undergarments, the cases of food and wine. Remember, all the precious things were kept along with the dead bodies. They believed in afterlife. And board games, bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. They recorded the funerary treasures. They recorded it for future reference or else for future study. And they found that there were 3 nested coffins were used. A shroud with garlands of willow and olives, wild celery, lotus petals and cornflowers. All the greatest and the best things were kept along with the bodies. The ritual resins hardened the gold coffin. Remember, the ritual resins were used. The kind of mechanism, the kind of things that they used to preserve hard resins. It is very difficult to melt it. So they use the hot atmosphere and they expose it to the sun to melt it. It was heated up to 149 degrees Fahrenheit just to open the coffin, the lid. And there were the author presents while doing the, why should they indulge in such an act? If they didn't open it, there might be a great threat due to them invasion of thieves. They may take it away. If they have taken the world may not know certain things. So that was a rich king. He was a rich king. That proved that he was a rich king. He used all the glittering goods. That proved his greatness too. Glittering goods, precious collars, inlaid necklace and bracelets, rings, inner coffins, mosque with pure gold. Everything was manufactured with gold. Amulets, ceremonial aprons, sandals. So, in the process of studying, they had to remove all the head joints of the body to free from all adornments. They have to remove the body, the head. They have to remove the head from the body just to remove all the adornments. And after finding, after scanning, after taking pictures and videos, they reassembled everything. In the process of studying, in the process of removing or taking the body, they actually use so many tools. Normally, these instruments were used to study. Hoe, rake, all the excavation tools were used. And apart from that, they had to rely on certain technologies too to complete the process, and they need to present in a scientific manner. Medical technologies were used like X-ray, and new methods were also used, and tomography, imaging by section. So imaging process was done completely in the second process, in the second discovery, in the second investigation. That's age and cause of his death was unknown, so they had to find that's age and the cause of his death. It was unknown to people. King's demise was a big event. The last of his family line. Tutankhamun was the last of his family. Before that, Amenhotep III ruled. Either the author is not sure about the relationship. Either he might be a grandfather to Tutankhamun or else father. He ruled for decades. Amenhotep IV succeeded him. He promoted the worship of Aten. IV changed his name in Akhetanen. He moved the religious capital from Thebes to Akhetanen, Amarna. It is known as Amarna. And he made a religious attack too. He destroyed the image of Amun. And the author considered that particular reign as a horrific time. Especially the Ray Johnson, the director of University of Chicago's Research Center, Luxor, says it's a end of their family, end of their reign. Smenkhkarê ruled briefly after that. Tutankhamun took the throne. His name was Al-Famous, King Tut. He changed his name to Tutankhamun. He reigned for only 9 years, remember. But unfortunately, he died unexpectedly without any proper reason. So, the Egyptian Mummy Project 2003 reveals so many things. There were nearly 600 mummies, don't forget. And the entire things were processed with portable CT, computer tomography, medical technology. And it was donated by National Geographic Society and Siemens. He was the first mummy to be scanned. King Tut was the first mummy to be scanned under this process. From his head to toe, the entire things were processed for scanning, imaging process. Nearly 1,700 digital X-ray images were scanned in cross-section. That is to find out so many aspects. Tut's head scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices. So every minute details were present. His entire body was also scanned. Specialists in radiology were also used. Forensics, anatomy, entire technologies, medical technologies were adopted to find out the original things. And careful scanning with the help of workmen too. Sometimes they also used plastic ferns. With the help of all medical technology and the modern technology, the ancient tools, they were able to record the images in an appropriate manner. He could find the process could find the gray head, and they also used the neck vertebrae, the rib cage, the transaction of the skull. Entire things were done according to the medical technology. The researcher Sagi Hawass felt happy about the process. He was able to proceed. There were no threats. They were able to use all the appropriate things. They were so they took precautionary steps too, and nothing really troubled them. They were able to execute with exact plan. The author also points out how the constellation is called Orion. He points out it was about the tomb that proved something worth. So this image will help you to study about the ancient names, and this will also give us some clue about the references. Normally this kind of references are found in every culture, every great tradition. When something is hidden, when something is not revealed to the world, we would have the tendency to know what is it. Same manner, the scientific world also try to reveal the truth with the help of technology. Thank you.